Hey guys, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be answering your questions about UCF. I've been making videos about the University of Central Florida for almost 4 years now. I've been attending since 2021. I am a senior majoring in communications, so I'd say I'm pretty well qualified to answer some of these questions. Before I get started, if you haven't checked out my College 101 video, I would definitely recommend checking that out because I answer a lot of questions about the university and also about just college and the process in general. I will have a college playlist of all of my videos linked in my description, as well as the little I up above. So I would check out those videos in case I've already answered some of your questions on there. This is mainly just giving a little bit more information in depth about the school and also answering questions that you guys have left either on my comment section or in my DMs. I've had some conversations with some of y'all about UCF and just answering any of your questions that I could. Since I've been studying at UCF now for 4 years, I pay this amount for every semester for 4 classes, and that makes it a total of this amount for 1 year, just 2 semesters. I don't normally count my summer semester because I don't normally take summer semester classes. I took one my first semester here was summer, and now my last semester here is summer, which is a very full circle moment. I've stayed at the UCF dorms, mainly just Hercules, for my freshman year, and I actually have a dorm tour vlog for you guys in my college playlist that shows you the Hercules 4x2s and the Libra 1x1. Let's get started. The application process is something I talked about in my College 101 video. I still got a lot of questions whether or not they look at your high school or your middle school, your VOCs, your ACE, your AP. And to answer that question, it's a little bit of everything. College application processes are known to be like the silliest things known to man. I know people who have had better stats than me that didn't get accepted to schools I got accepted to. So I'm not a college advisor. I don't know exactly what it is that they're looking for, but what I can tell you is what I provided to the table and how I think that helped me in getting into UCF. I got a 1,150 on my SAT. I had a 4.4 GPA. I was president of the film club at my school. I actually started the film club at my school. I was the vice president of the Women of Tomorrow Club. I was historian of the drama club. I do think one of the things that set me apart from other applicants was my volunteering with peer jury at my local courthouse. It was a program for minors who had committed petty crimes, and instead of sending them to a juvenile detention center, they would see a jury of their peers, which were other children, and we would allow them to instead do community service. And through that, I believe that I was stood aside from a lot of the rest of the applicants because most people were just in clubs for their school, but I actively went outside of the school system and volunteered for my community. There are plenty of different organizations that do things like this. My college essay, I just spoke about some mental hardships that I went through. And for UCF in specific, on the Common app, they ask you like why you wanted to go to UCF. I think I was really clever with how I did it. I genuinely think this is what got me into UCF. I had toured UCF before applying for the school, and me and a couple of my friends rode around the scooters and just explored campus, and it was genuinely such an amazing experience. I was set on FSU before attending the UCF tour, and after going with those scooters and just having a really good time with some of my friends, I actually decided that UCF was more of the school for me, because if I could have this much fun, then chances are I would have this much fun when I actually attended the school. And I wasn't wrong. So in my Why UCF essay, I talked about how freeing it felt to be on those scooters and just be sort of away from everything I had ever known and just to have new experiences, and that I was really excited to attend UCF for those reasons. I do think that's what got me into the school. I think I ate that up. I think it was really good. I was like, I loved your school because y'all had scooters.
Huh?
If you guys have any more questions about the application process for UCF, I highly recommend contacting an admissions advisor. I have the information here for you guys. You don't need to be a UCF student in order to access the admission advisors. They are there to answer your questions about the application process and what UCF is really looking for. The average stats for UCF students are an average SAT score of 1,342, average ACT score of 28.5, and an average high school GPA of 4.22. Here's what UCF asked for, and here's what I got. A lot of the questions I received were about transportation here at UCF. Is it easy to get around campus? Do you need a car to move around? And for my first 2 years here at UCF, I didn't have my own car. I relied a lot on the shuttles that UCF provides. If you're living on campus, I genuinely just recommend walking, and the Pegasus Express takes you around campus as well. From one point of the school to another, I'd say it takes you about 20 to 25 minutes. I lived in the Hercules dorms, and getting from Hercules to the 7-Eleven up at the top of the school would take me around 20 to 25 minutes of walking. But if you don't want to do that walk every single day, they have scooters here on campus which you can ride and take to go to any place on campus. You can't use them off of campus, but you can use them on campus. As well as for transportation's sake outside of campus, there is a shuttle that takes you to Publix. I believe it was every Tuesday they would use a shuttle to take students all the way over to the Publix that's nearest on campus. I have actually used that a couple times in order to buy some groceries because your girl did not have a car, so I had to make do with what I could. Or you can actually just buy your own scooter. I know a lot of people who do that, or like a skateboard or a bike. If you don't want to do those, then walking is your best bet. I would say that traveling around campus and on campus is relatively convenient. It is a very big school, but it's a circle, literally. So it's like if you go one way, you're bound to make it to the place that you need to go. There are a lot of shortcuts on campus, and I talk a little bit about them in some of my videos. It's just getting yourself acquainted with the campus, and Google Maps are your best friend. You can literally look up the class building that you're going to, and it will take you there. And also, I believe that as UCF students or just college students in general, Lyft and Uber gives you at least like one free ride or like a credit to a ride if you ever need to use that as well. I was asked why my college fees were so high, and a lot of that has to do with the fees that UCF itself place upon students. I think I pay from within $300 to $400 on a singular class. And once you actually get enrolled into college, you can see every single thing that goes into that budget. Here's a picture of one of my classes I took that has all of the fees split into the charge that we as students pay for. And keep in mind, this is in-state tuition. I have never gone to college out of state, so I'm not entirely sure how much that costs. I did get a lot of people that were transferring asking me questions about UCF, and it mainly had to do with how hard it would be to manage a job as well as school. For my first 2 years here, I did not have a job. I was privileged enough to be able to pay off all of my housing and tuition through Bright Futures and scholarships and FAFSA. But I did apply to the UCF bookstore and I got accepted to work there. So finding jobs on campus isn't relatively too hard, but you do have to realize that there are plenty of students that are trying to get jobs on campus. So your best bet for higher pay is probably going somewhere outside of campus. Obviously, if you don't have a job, your choices are limited, so take what you can get. I also got asked if UCF students are friendly, and happy to report we definitely are. Through my many years of going here, I've walked to so many classes, and constantly I'm stopped to answer questions or receive compliments or give compliments by other students. Especially if you join clubs, it is so much easier to make friends, especially ones that are like-minded. I was once holding one of my cameras to go record a video, and a girl stopped me and we started talking about how she's starting a podcast and how I started talking about my YouTube video. We exchanged phone numbers. Granted, I never actually continued that friendship. It is very easy to make that initial effort to start conversation with people. It is just a little harder to actually maintain that relationship and grow that relationship, but that just has to do with you and that other person. So I would recommend joining as many clubs as you can, talking to as many people in your classes as you can, in order to really start growing friendship with a lot of people. Also, depending on who you dorm with and if you even dorm with people, your roommates are probably going to be your best bet to having friends. You don't always get along with your roommates. I have had my fair share of tribulations, but it really is a lot easier than you would expect it to. I'd say the hardest part is to continue staying engaged with these friendships. I was also asked if I have any videos where I recommend any resources that are available at UCF. I recently made a UCF tour video where I talk about a lot of the resources that UCF offers. I obviously did not get to mention every single one of them because there are so many, but I put all the links in my description for that video. I'm actually using one of UCF's resources right now. I'm on campus, if you couldn't tell, and I am in a study room right now recording this video. You can rent them out for free. There's also a bunch of different resources like career services where they help you draft up a resume and apply to jobs or internships. There's also office hours for your professors, which I highly recommend going to if you want to build a genuine connection with them and be able to network with them in the future. I have taken a lot of different classes here at UCF. I've been in STEM, I've been in film, and now I'm in communications. I hopped around a lot. I changed my major technically 4 times. So if you come to college and you came in with a specific major in mind, don't be afraid to change it if it's not what you thought it would be, or if it's just not something you really like. I changed my major so many different times until I got here. So don't be afraid to change your major and change your mind. I also highly recommend speaking to your advisors. I cannot stress that enough. Even if you think you know exactly what classes you have to take, I still recommend reaching out to them and seeing what it is they recommend and seeing when you will be able to graduate. Just as much information as you possibly can. Highly recommend talking with them almost every semester. When it comes to scheduling your classes, I highly recommend not scheduling classes at 7 a.m. if you know you're not going to wake up for them. I have heard so much testimony from other students, and myself included, where I scheduled a class so much earlier than I realistically would have woken up for. I had classes like at 8 a.m. and I had slept through every single one of them. That is money you are wasting. Those are resources you are wasting. So I recommend scheduling classes at a reasonable time, even if it means that school is going to be more busy. After that semester where I scheduled classes at 8 a.m. and didn't attend any of them, I learned my lesson and scheduled all of my classes from like 11 down. The earliest I would do is 10 because I know myself, I'm not going to wake up for those classes. And it's just going to be for no reason that I'm in them, that I'm enrolled in them. A lot of your classes, attendance is not required, but once you get deeper into your major, they switch that up on you, and then it is required. Points will be deducted if you do not attend classes. So I just highly recommend putting in that effort and going to school. This is what you're paying for. This is what the government is paying for. This is what your parents are paying for, okay? It's just in your best interest to actually learn what you're studying, because if you graduate from college and you don't have any idea what your major is, Did you even really graduate from college? I believe that is all I have for you guys today. Make sure to check out my other college videos and my college playlist. I have vlogs, I have tours, I have informational videos. I do think you'll have almost all of your questions answered. And if I haven't answered your question, please don't be afraid to comment them down below or DM me on Instagram. I am always so happy to help in any way I possibly can. If it's something that I can't answer, I highly recommend speaking to your admissions advisors or even the ones in your high school, your college advisors. They know information that could help you in your application process. With all that being said, I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day. Like I said, follow me on Instagram and comment any of your other questions down below. Have a good one. Bye.